All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Qadash. I want to give and say double honors, say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders at Great Millstone for teaching us His word and truth and sincerity, for reading well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi. Hey, I'm my brother Yahawah from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And tonight's lesson, I want to read Revelation chapter 17, and this was inspired by I'm watching a after camp video with the apostles and the brothers, the Banyamwa Akim, and the main camp, and the brothers were going over Revelation chapter 13, and as well I had mentioned Revelation 17, and the Spirit just jumped on me to read through it and Lord willing edify. Okay. And this picture that you see right in front of you, this is has great significance because it represents the beast, okay, which is the Edomite system, rulership, starting with the Greeks, all right, all the way down to the British, and then the whore, which rides the beast, which is America. She the one that's in control of the beast, okay, through things like NATO and in the EU, all right. So it says the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO, which is the North Atlantic Treaty. NATO. What is NATO, right? NATO is NATO right here. This is good right here. NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's also called the North Atlantic Alliance. Let's read it, right? Let's read it. It says the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or also called the North Atlantic Alliance, is an intergovernmental military alliance. So it's basically all of these Edomite nations and these other nations that join into them. They're basically a one world army, and that's going to be the army in which the New World Order is going to move things around, because they're trying to be a global order. They want to be a global order, same money system, same military system, claiming that they're going to bring peace, right? So it says is an intergovernmental military alliance between 31 member states, 29 European and two North American. So the 2 North Americans is Canada and United States. So this is Esau's system. This is his beast right here. It's an Edomite system, or a rulership, right? So it says 29 European nations, and not including Russia, because Russia's not part of that. And then you have the 2 North American Edomite nations, which is Canada and North America. All right, so this is the beast system all over again. This is the Roman system all over again, the pagan Roman society, Salakia. And this is also representative of the Roman Empire all over again. There's a better picture, but I can't find it right now, but this is good right here. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to find it. Give me a second. My better picture of this. We usually have this picture at camp, when we at camp, all right? And again, we're living in the second leg of the Roman Empire, all right? That's why NATO is headed by these European nations, what you have, like they have something called the Treaty of Rome, which they established the EEC, which is the European Economic Community, which end up being turned into the EU, or the European Union. And these are all Edomite rulerships again, ruling over again, right? So because like all things, things are reincarnated. So people are reincarnated, and so are kingdoms. And the kingdom that we're living in right now, we're living in the feet of that statue that Nebuchadnezzar had the dream of. We're living in the feet, which is what? The feet of iron and clay is the kingdom of restored Rome, right? Because Rome was what? These Edomites came back into power. These Edomites were strong during these particular times, and the whose wound was healed, the beast whose wound was healed, is the Roman Empire, all right? Is the Roman Empire, right? So that's where you get this from, and this is exactly right. You had the kingdom of Babylon, which was the Neo-Assyrian, Babylonian Empire. Then you had the chest and the arms of silver, which is the kingdom of the Medes and the Persians, or the Persians and the Medes. All right. Then you had the belly of the thigh of bronze, which was the kingdom of ancient Greece. Okay. Then you had the legs of iron, which is the kingdom of ancient Rome or pagan Rome. All right. And then you had the feet of iron and clay, which is the kingdom of Rome restored. Right. And that's what Esau wants to push with his so-called NWO. He wants to push a kingdom, his manufactured kingdom, a manufactured blessing of him ruling in perpetuity through these different organizations. All right. So again, it says the beast with the 7 heads and the 10 horns is NATO, which we just broke some of that down. Going back to this article in NATO, it says 29 European and 2 North American established in the aftermath of World War II. The organization implemented the North Atlantic Treaty signed in Washington, D.C. in April 4th, 1949. NATO is a collective security system. It is independent member states agreed to defend each other against attacks by the third parties. During the Cold War, NATO operated as a check on the threat posed by the Soviet Union. And that's but these different nations that are allied, they're going to end up turning on the whore because she's the one with the power. Okay, to do what? To influence the world, right? You got something called democracy, religion, idolatry, homosexuality, lies, adultery, covetousness, murder, and these are things that are pervasive on our earth, and you can thank the Edomites for that. And we're going to get to the crux of this lesson, but let me get this precept real quick. It's the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1. All right, 1 Maccabees chapter 1, and I'll go straight to the point. It says, and at verse 9, 1 Maccabees 1 and 9, and after his death, his is Alexander the Great, they all put crowns upon themselves, which was his different officers, you know, Ptolemy, Cassandra, Lysimachus, you know, Seleucid, these people, right? It says themselves, so did their sons after them in many years, and evils were multiplied on the earth. So whenever these Edomites come into rulership, evils multiply on the earth, all right? And that's what you have. You know, let's see what this says in the Good News Translation, 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 9. Okay, and then we'll go get to the crux of the lesson. And this is just the spirit, and the spirit had me put something on wax, you know, and I wanted to edify. So I pray that this lesson be edifying to you and that you can get something out of it, okay? All right, so this is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 9 in the Good News Translation. It says, and each had himself crowned king of his own territory. The descendants of these kings ruled for many generations and brought a great deal of misery on the world. So these Edomites, when they rule, they always bring misery on the earth. All right, they bring destruction on the earth. They bring wickedness. All right, that's why Scripture says in 2 Ezra chapter 15 that wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, man. And you can thank these Edomites, starting with America, the whore that sits on the beast, that rides on the beast. All right, she basically controls the beast because she's a military might. Right now, let's go to Revelation chapter 17. We're going to start at 1, the doom of Babylon. And this is not talking about ancient Babylon. This is talking about America. Okay, so it says Revelation 17 and 1, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore which sit upon many waters, right? And those different waters are these different nations. They represent these different nations, all right? These different countries which her influences sit on many waters. I read in the NLT. One of the 7 angels who had poured out the 7 bowls came over and spoke to me. Come with me, he said, and I will show you the judgment that is going to come on the great prostitute who rules over many waters. All right. Let's see. We're going to get the breakdown on the sea, which is the people. But I just want to look up the term for waters in Greek. Right here is Hydor. All right. And it says waters, rivers, fountains, pools, water, earth, repositories, water, the primary alignment through which world that has before deluge arose was compacted, the waves of the sea. Yep. Used of many peoples. There it is. So she's able to she's able she's able to lie and put many people into delusion. She's a prostitute that all these different nations jumped in bed with and slept with. All right. So it says again in the NLT, one of the 7 angels who had poured out the 7 bowls came over and spoke to me. Come with me, he said, and I will show you the judgment that is going to come on a great prostitute who rules over many waters, which is really many different people, many people. Okay, let's keep on reading. So it says, verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, right? Which we had just went to this, her different philosophies. Okay, because when you go around the world, these things are pervasive in the earth. So-called democracy, this Christian religion, the Satanism, idolatry, which you worship in all these different gods, Islam, Christianity, Buddha, all of that shit is acceptable in America. And these different nations that get in bed with her, they do business with her, they're forced to follow these ways. And if they don't, then what happens? They cut them off. Look what happened to Jamaica recently. Joe Biden supposedly put their people out of the country, that were working in the government, out of the country, to because they didn't want to go along with the ABC agenda. So you got lies, adultery, covetousness, murder, and many more things that these different nations, they all got in bed with her and they follow her. They follow after her. All right. They get in bed with her and they do what? They follow her wine, her fornication, okay, her different philosophies. And the NLT says the kings of the world have committed adultery with her, and the people who belong to this world have been made drunk by the wine of her immorality. So that fornication is her immorality, right? Remember the scripture says these people, they stagger with strong drink, but not with wine. Because you got Israelites in it following after the same customs of this devil. All right. So it's a great judgment coming behind it. All right. According to the precepts, the scriptures, Revelation 18, that she's gonna get double for what she did unto the world, man, unto the world of Israel and unto the earth. Like says yep, this is Revelation 18:6. Reward her even as she. Matter of fact, I'll start at 7. I'll start at 4. I'll start at 4. This is Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Right, because there's going to be a voice from them chariots in the Hebrew calling up the elect, so we don't be destroyed with this woman, with this whore. All right, and we won't have to suffer any of her plagues. The main plague being the plague of nuclear fire. All right. So it says, because America is going to be destroyed. The vast majority of the people on the earth, they don't know that. Neither do they believe it or want to believe it. But this Edomite rulership is coming to an end, a quick end. Okay. And it is nothing that the world can do about it. All right. And he says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Verse 5. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities." Absolutely. You know, because the world may forget Esau's sins here in America. People live and they die, generations come and go, and you just try to sweep it under the rug or ignore it. Meanwhile, you got the children of Israel from the northern kingdom to the southern kingdom oppressed in his land, highly oppressed in his land. Okay. Meanwhile, you put hell on our people, you're destroying the earth, and you think that the Lord forgot about that. Like the scripture says, you thought that the Most High was one with you because he didn't say anything, because he kept quiet. Because the Most High, he get nations over time, man. You know, like he did them Canaanites. Their sins had to be lifted up to a certain point to where he brought the judgment down upon him using his people Israel. And the Lord is about to do that a second time. But he's going to use his son, his only begotten son, Yahawashi, Hamashiach, to do it, along with the heavenly host of angels and the elect. Okay, verse 6. So people want to wonder why is this happening? Why is this going to happen? Because this place is well deserving of the reward that the Lord is about to give to it. So Revelation 18:6 says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double, according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double. Right, so all of that destruction, all of that sorrow, all of that pain, you're going to get that double in this place, man. You see what's going on over in Maui. That place is a prelude to what's going to be in America, but it's going to really be wiped out. There ain't going to be nothing here. And it ain't going to be no smoke break. There ain't going to be no cloud break for the sun to break through. This place is going to be on fire. This place is going to be on the whole 3,000 by 5,000 square miles is going to be eviscerated. And that's the judgment of the Lord. She's going to get double. Right? It says, verse 7, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's the mindset of the Edomite here that's ruling over this place. Okay, not just the average, Joe six-pack, but these Edomites that are in power, preferably speaking about the ruling elite, because they operate on both sides of the fence. They operate on both sides of the field, or both sides of the party aisles in these different nations, especially America. They got all of that tied up and sewed up. That's why they basically do whatever they want, or they feel they can do whatever they want, and they don't have to worry about judgment. But they forget that the Most High sees everything. Like I always say, the Heavenly Father and His Son not sitting in the spirit world watching BET. They ain't sitting up with their feet up laughing at the wickedness that's going on in this world like the average person does. And neither are they just sitting there arbitrarily letting things happen and continue this way. The Most High is going to put an end to this place. He's going to bring sorrow to this place. All right, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord who judgeth her. So it's all going to come in one day. You might be a sunny day. You might be walking down the street, thinking everything cool. You got your chip in your hand. You eating your little your government meals. Or you might be wealthy and you got a higher station in the new system. You think it's all good. But in one day, this place is going to be destroyed. It took this place over 200 plus years to be built up the way you see it, off the blood, sweat, and tears of the children of Israel. All right? So it says, strong is the Lord that judgeth. He said he's going to utterly burn her with fire. So the whore, she's about to get judged, man. All right? And it says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Shall bewail her, right? These different nations that are in business in bed with the whore, that did all this fornication and wickedness, sold their own nations out to have temporary power, blinded by covetousness, wealth, murder, wickedness. They're going to cry because ain't nobody going to buy their goods. Ain't nobody going there's not going to be a support system for them. And the majority of the world's currency is wrapped up in America's currency. How about that? And lament for her. And when they shall see the smoke of her burning, right? They're not going to be crying because the people that are destroyed, they're going to be messed up in their heart because they ain't getting no more money. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, which is America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So 1 hour, this whole place is going to be eviscerated, man. And it ain't going to be nobody going to be shipping no food over here. None of those emergency efforts is going to be brought for this place. It's just going to be completely eviscerated. A no man's land. All right? And that's judgment of the whore. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 17, verse 4. I'll start at 3 again. Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, right? Which we got an illustration of that right here. That scarlet-colored beast is the NATO, the Roman Empire reborn. Okay, NATO. She sits on it. She sits in a ruler seat. Says, let me read it again. And the woman, I'm sorry. Yep, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. This is a great illustration. And those 7 heads represents the 7 rulerships of the Edomites. You got, starting with the Greeks, okay, then you got, well, I'll go here. You got the Greeks, you got the Romans, you got Germana Major, Germana Minor. Then it came to the French, and then the British. All right, those are the 7 particular rulerships that Esau, strong rulerships that Esau had. The pagan Roman Empire, all right, the Greek or the Hellenistic Empire. Then you had the British Empire, which that came before America. America came out of her. Okay, the whore, she actually came out of Britain, right? And then you had the French. They were ruling for a while, and you see they're putting hell on Jake over there in Africa right now, West Africa right now. Okay, there's a war going on over there for those people, precious resources and control of that country. And it says full of the names of blasphemy. Yep. You see, them 10 horns, they represent the 10 horns represent the common market or the European Economic Community, which we just talked about, the EEC. Established in 1959, today the EEC is known as the EU, the European Union. And it was started, the EEC, right? The EEC, European Economic Community. Okay, it says the European Economic Community was a regional organization created by the Treaty of Rome. Spoke about that earlier too, aiming to foster economic integration among its member states. It was subsequently renamed the European Community, or EC, upon becoming integrated into the first pillar of the newly formed European Union in 1993. In popular language, however, the singular European Community was sometimes inaccurately used for a wider sense. It says the community initial aim was to bring about economic integration, including a common market and customs union among its 6 founding members: Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, West Germany, right? It gained a common set of institutions along the European cold steel community and European atomic energy community. All right, let me see. Let's go into the founding members or the nations. Right, and this is right here, common community enlargement right here. They stretched, they got bigger over time. It says, oh, right here, members. It says the 6 states that founded the EEC and the other 2 communities were known as the Inner 6. And that's Esau's number. That 6 is Esau's number. The outer 7 were those countries who formed the European Free Trade Association. The 6 were France, West Germany, Italy, and the 6 were France, West Germany, Italy, and the 3 Benelux countries, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. All right, so you had 1, 2, two, 3, that's 6, Belgium and the Netherlands, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first enlargement in 1973, the accession of Denmark, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Greece. Spain, Portugal joined. The former East Germany became part of the EEC. So going back to this picture right here, this illustration, these were the original founding members right here. We just read some of them, right? Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, and West Germany. These are all European nations, right? Then you got NATO, which was formed in 1949. Let's go back to their precepts. This is where we at? I'm sorry. Revelation chapter 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed with purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Exactly. Right. So she was appealing to these different nations, economically, militarily, spiritually, philosophically. She was appealing to these nations. But she had, in that cup, she had abominations and filthiness. It says the woman wore purple, scarlet clothing, beautiful jewelry made of gold and precious gems and pearls. In her hand, she held a golden goblet full of obscenities and impurities of her immorality. And that's what this place is all about. Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great. And why was it a mystery? Because it wasn't known. You know what I'm saying? America didn't exist during the time of Apostle John, right? America didn't exist during the time of the ancient Babylonians, right? Right? So a lot of people, they call themselves researching this, and they'll try to say, well, who is the Roman Catholic Church? It's not the Roman Catholic Church. It's America, right? And it was a mystery for a long time, but now it's not a mystery, because now that man is being revealed. Real quick, this is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right. Yep. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that man of sin that's being revealed, the son of perdition, is Esau, Edom. Because one thing that all these different nations that we were just talking about have in common is that they're run by Edomites. These are all Edomite nations. All right? And he's being revealed now as the devil himself. All right? And it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right? And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, which are the Israelites, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahawashi. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration, right? Because John was seeing a vision. So she looked good, probably had her titties popping out, a turtleneck, all of that. You know what I'm saying? She looked good. But it says, and I could see in the NLT, I could see that she was drunk with the blood of God's holy people. Who were the Most High's holy people? The Israelites, who were witnesses for Yahawashi, which is us. I stared at her in complete amazement. Right? Where we at? Verse 7. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and the 10 horns. Verse 8. It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not. Right? Because that beast that she saw was one that he saw. Salaki, where we at? That beast that he saw, it said it was, it is. I'm sorry, let me read that again. It says, the beast which thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Right? Because it was in power at one time, which was mainly during the Roman Empire. That was their strength right there. Right? But that Roman Empire fell. But then she was going to come back in power. Right? And this time, it wasn't just going to be one nation here, 2 nations there. No, it was going to be combined. All these different Edomite nations combined, and including their rulerships. Because they take something from America as well as NATO, they take something from all these different empires that rule. Man. And the common theme is that in all these different empires, it was Israelites that was battling with these devils, man. Right? I mean, they battle with other nations too, but the common protagonist is the Israelites, and the common antagonist is the Edomites. And it says, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. That bottomless pit is yours, man. That place is a bottomless pit. Don't nothing really They don't have no real strong resources in that area. All right. So she came out of there, and mainly in the 1400s, late 13. I mean, yeah, like the late 1300s. He started the Esau started creeping in, getting powerful, but he really gained power after 1492. All right. And it says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Right? Because the ones that's going to wonder is the Israelites that are not saved, the 2/3. All right? They're going to wonder, is my name written in the book, or why wasn't it? You know, because the Lord ain't have you slotted for salvation. All right? The NLT says, the beast you saw once alive, but isn't now, the Roman Empire, and yet he will soon come out of the bottomless pit and go into eternal destruction, right? Because when he gonna come out to rise, but he came out to rise, but only to fall. And this time it's gonna be permanent. It ain't gonna be no do-overs. You're not getting another opportunity to rule. And none of you nations can say that the Most High, Yahawashi, is unrighteous, because he gave you plenty of opportunity and you squandered it every time. Because in reality, you weren't set up for eternal rulership. You were set up to be destroyed eternally, man. And the people who belong to this world, whose names were not written in the book of life before the world was made, because the elect names are written in the book of life before any of this was even made. It was already set who's going to be saved, who wasn't going to be saved. And that's why we're giving diligence to make our calling and election sure. You know, praying to Yahawah, doing what's commanded to the best of our ability. All right. And it says, and the people who belong to this world, because we don't belong to this world, even though we're in the world, we as the hopeful elect, we don't belong to the world. Real quick, this is St. John chapter 17, right? Verse 9. It says, St. John 17:9, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou givest me, because for they are thine, right? How shall I pray for the elect? You know, right? Those are the ones who the Lord, Yahawah gave his son. All right. It says, this is verse 11. It says, and now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. See, we're in the world, but we're not of it. And it says, and I came to thee, Holy Father, keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are, right? Which is united. Okay. So going back to Revelation chapter 17, all right, let's read that again in the NLT. It says, the beast you saw was once alive, but isn't now. And yet he will soon come up out of the bottomless pit and go to eternal destruction. And the people who belong to this world, whose names were not written in the book of life before the world was made, will be amazed at the reappearance of this beast who had died. Right. And that's 2/3. You know, they're going to be amazed at the appearance of this beast. They're like, oh shit, for real? It's the Roman Empire all over again, which we already see that now. All right. We already see that now. Right. It says, verse 9, and here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains, which mountains represent governments, rulership, on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, one is, and the other is not yet to come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So it says 5 are fallen, one is. So let's go back to this illustration right here. Right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? It says 5 of these are fallen. The Greeks fell. The Romans fell. Germania Major, Germania Minor fell. The French Empire fell. And then you had the British Empire, right? So it says 5 are fallen. Let me go back to that. It says what? 5 are fallen. All right. So we just did the math. We just did the deduction. Rome fell. Greek fell. Pagan Roman fell. Germania Major, Germania Minor fell. Okay. The French, they fell. And then one is, which is the British Empire, right? Let me go back to this. All right, it says there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space, which is America. That's the one that's going to come up out of there. I'm sorry, let me read that again. I'm going off. Let me read that again. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and the other is not yet, which that was the British Empire. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. So it says the beast that was is not, even he is the 8th, right? And that 8th and is the 8th and is of the 7 and goeth in perdition, right? So America came out of the British Empire. So these 5 are, it says one is, 5 are fallen, 1, 2, 3, 4. Move it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'll get these mixed up, brothers. So just bear with me. I'm reading this. 1, 2, 3, 4 are falling. 4, 5 are falling because the Greeks are falling. So that would leave the British Empire, and he ruled for a short space. And then out of this one came America, the horde. So she's still of the 7 because she came out of America. America was born out of Britain. All right. So let's read that again. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. All right. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7 and goeth in perdition. So that perdition, that word for prediction is perdition is destruction. Opolia in the Greek. Opolia in the Greek is what? Destroying, utter destruction. And that's what America's going to be. Perishing, ruin, destruction of money. Yeah, because America's money system, financial system, it's going to be destroyed. The destruction. That's why they're trying to switch over to the new digital currency, right? Because that has more control than this fiat currency. But it's still going to be destroyed. The destruction, which consists of eternal misery and hell, which America is going to be eternally eviscerated. All right, right. I just want to read this in an NLT. Revelation 17:11. The scarlet beast that was but is no longer is the 8th king. Yep. He is like the other 7, and he too is headed for destruction. Yep. Which is the Roman Empire all over again, which is America. Going back to this picture, right here, the feet of iron clay is the kingdom of restored Rome. All right, which we're living in. All right. And it says, verse 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Right. And those are 10 common markets. They have power now, but they got it with the beast. The 10 horns of the beast are 10 kings who have not yet risen to power. Right. They weren't powerful kings back then. They will be appointed to their kingdoms for one brief moment to reign with the beast. And we're in that moment, right? Verse 14, the victory of the Lamb, because Yahawashi, he's the Lamb, he's going to get victory over this beast, all right? We're almost done. A couple more precepts, and then we'll wrap it up. It says, verse 17, Revelation 17:14, these shall make war with the Lamb, right? That beast is going to make war with Yahawashi when he comes back. And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and a King of kings. And they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. And who's going to be with him? The elect. Lord willing, we are part of the elect. The elect is going to be with him. And they're called what? Chosen and faithful. All right? And we know you can read 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 8 on down. Really start from verse 1. And it goes through the process of Yahawashi returning and these different nations fighting each other, fighting each other. They're going to stop fighting each other and they're going to turn and fight the Lord. And it says, those that are, okay, it says, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. Like the elect are chosen. Okay, you can't make yourself the elect. They're chosen and they're faithful. Let's read that in the NLT. It says, together they will go to war against the Lamb. Yep, the beast system, NATO, the EU, all of their military might together. They're gonna try to fight the Lord. But the Lamb will defeat them, because he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and his called and chosen faithful ones will be with him. Yep, which is the elect. You know, it says, verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So she's ruling over these nations through her different tentacles: democracy, her covetousness, her murder, her different philosophies, her LGBT, A, B, C, D, E. It says that then the angel said unto me, the waters where the prostitute is ruling represent masses of people of every nation and language. And you got all of that here in America too, right? It says, verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So eventually something's about to happen where these 10 horns, these 10 major nations, because right now they're allied with America. These different nations are allied with America. But then they're going to end up turning against her, man. They're going to end up striking her with nuclear missiles, man. Okay? Especially when they see she ain't got a dog in the fight. All right? You got these nations right now. Germany talking about doing business with Russia because they need the power. They need the natural resources for power in their country. America can't promise them that. They don't have no way to siphon resources, precious resources, to Germany and these different nations over there, France and them. You know, they don't have that. So eventually these nations going to make some type of pact, and they're going to turn against the whore, and they're going to hate the whore. All right? They're going to hate her. It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, the nuclear missiles. For the Most High had put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. So it's these Edomites, they think that they're fulfilling their own will. They're making all of these backdoor deals. They got these dark meetings that they're meeting in the middle of the daytime where nobody knows what's going on. And they're confederate against the Lord and his people. But they don't know that they're going to do exactly what Yahawah intends for them to do. It says, for the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So this is all, when he talks about the woman, it represents a people. And why are American citizens called? What are the inhabitants? What are the inhabitants of a city called? Right? I typed in what are the inhabitants of the city called? Right? You call citizens. Or let's look up the term citizen. Right? A citizen. Right? Citizen definition is a legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, native or naturalized person or inhabitant. Look. An inhabitant of a particular town or city. So America is that big city. America is that big city. That's why we're called citizens of America. All right? And it says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, which is America. America is that great city. So this has been Revelation chapter 17. I hope you were edified. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, please leave a comment. Okay, and Lord, when I'll see you next time. Shalom.